Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today we're going over the highly anticipated DDD deck profile. Now, I spent countless hours playtesting with this deck, and we actually do have some of me playtesting with this deck on our Facebook page. So for the people that want to see us play DDD, a little bit of EQ format and some other things, you can always go to the TheCaliEffect's like page. Go ahead and give that page a like, and we are going to start live streaming, especially today. Like I said, this deck I spent hours playtesting with. I feel like this is the best variant that I would play. If I were entering regionals, I would enter regionals with this. And don't get me wrong, I will work on it and continue to work on it, so you guys will get an updated deck profile later on. But I feel like these are the best cards to be running within this deck. Let's start off with the deck profile. And just for the rookies, we're going to actually give a brief detail on the cards that are already out as well as the new cards. I'm going to start off with a 3 DD King, Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok. Its pin scale effect is when you special summon a DD monster, you can target one DD monster in your graveyard, special summon it to your side of the field, then you take 1,000 damage. Also, all damage your opponent will take that turn is half. Now, before I go into its second effect, I wanted to specify one important thing. Now, when a card says DD, when it specifies searching, adding, or special summoning a DD monster, you can also special summon, add, or search a DDD monster because it has DD within its card text. Now, if a card says DDD, you can only search, add, or special summon a DDD monster, not a DD because it doesn't have the third D. Obviously, she wanted the third D because that's why we have DDDs. Its monster effect is when this card is normal summon or special summon, you can target one DDD monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can also tribute one DD monster you control, target one monster your opponent controls, and banish it. Easily the best monster of the deck. 2200 attack isn't that great, but its 3k booty is something to admire. I don't really know if I'm admiring King's butts, but you know, it is what it is. Next is 3 copies of DD Savant Copernicus, one of the new cards. Like I said, this card completely changed how we play DDD, this and the other card. Its pin scale effect is pretty bad, actually. It says you cannot special summon any monsters except for DD monsters, or Pendulum summon. The next thing is if you would take spell effect damage, you can negate that effect and destroy this card. So, I mean, for all you chain burn players out there, this card is the answer, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to be using that for that. You're going to be using it for its monster effect. If it is normal summon or special summon, you can send one DD or Dark Contract card from your deck to the graveyard, for the exception of Savant Copernicus. Now, a lot of people actually opt to run 2. I run 3 for a myriad of reasons. First of all, it is a scale 1, so if I put this in my scale and I put Kepler in my scale, then I can special summon almost any monster I want to my side of the field. That is a DD monster. The next thing is that it's an allure target, so you know, it is what it is. But the most important thing is that I want to see my combo pieces as fast as possible. So of course I want to see Copernicus as one of my combo pieces because it sends cards from my deck to my graveyard. Ultimately, it's an awesome card. I've seen people play 2 and you can get away with it. Next is 3 copies of DD Savant Kepler. This card is a Sav. Its pin effect is not great, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. And if you guys wanted to know about it not being great, it's actually worse than Copernicus. First of all, it says you can only special summon monsters except DD monsters. As you guys should know, all really high pin scales and all really low pin scales in DDD seem to play that, at least the important ones. The next thing is every standby phase, this card loses 2 from its pin scale. So it'll go from 10 to 8, 8 to 6, 6 to 4, and so on and so forth. Now that's kind of terrible here, but here's where it gets worse. Then you have to destroy all monsters you control with the corresponding level or above. So once it goes to 10 to 8, all of your level 8 and higher monsters are destroyed. So when you pendulum summon with that card, you probably want to make sure you get rid of it. Unfortunately, we don't play it for its pendulum effect, we play it for its monster effect. When it's normal summon or special summon, you can add 1 contract card from your deck to your hand. Oh my god, it's a Stratos, it's really good. Also, you can, if it's normal summon or special summon, you can return 1 DD monster or contract card from your field to your hand. So, I mean, nobody ever uses that effect. I swear, we use it for the Stratos, I swear. Next, to round off the pendulums, is 2 copy of DD Savant Thomas. Now this card is a Sav, I'm telling you guys. Its pin effect is during your main phase you can add 1 face up DD monster from your extra deck to your hand. So after you destroy the Kepler, you just add it to your hand by placing Thomas in your scale. Its monster effect only makes it better. Is you can target one DD monster in your pin scale. I'm looking at you, Savage. Destroy it, then special summon one DDD monster from your deck to your side of the field. Its effects are negated. So essentially, this card will grant you a free rank 8 from your deck. So it's pretty good in that aspect. That is it with the Pendulums. I think we play 11 of them. Now we're going to get on to the regular DD monsters, and these cards are awesome. This is the card that revolutionized, just completely changed the game. Its name is DD Lamia. Now, this card sets up so many nasty combos. Okay, so if it's in your hand or your graveyard, you can send one contract or one DD monster you control to the graveyard to special summon this card to your side of the field. It is a level 1 tuner, so like I said, nasty combos. It's probably the most important card of the deck because it allows you to go into so many Synchro and Exceed plays. The next thing is if it's into the graveyard, when you use that effect, it is banished instead. Another thing I wanted to point out, that you cannot send your face-up DD or your face-up DD Pendulum monsters to the graveyard because this card requires you to send monsters to the graveyard. Pendulum cards don't go to the graveyard. They will go to the extra deck and set. So you can't just send this to the extra deck to special summon your Lamia. The card would have to originally be able to be sent to the graveyard for you to special summon your Lamia. Just a heads up. Next is 3 copies of DD Swirl Slime, probably the best DD card right behind Ragnarok and Lamia. What it does is that you can fusion summon one DD monster from your extra deck using Swirl Slime and another DD monster in your hand. So if you open this, that's nasty because you can fusion summon, special summon, and synchro summon, and pendulum summon, and summon, and then exceed summon, and then advance summon, and then summon on summons, and summons with summons, okay? Just to let you guys know. If it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to special summon one monster from your hand. So like I said, you can hyper summon, you can synchro summon, fusion summon, exceed summon, TheCaliEffect's summon, ritual summon, demon summon, everything. I'm just saying, everybody gets a summon. Next is 3 copies of DD Necro Slime, and I want to put this one up front because it's perforated on the top. What this card does is that if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it and a DD monster to fusion summon. So basically, it's a free fusion. We play 3 copies. I've seen a lot of people play 2, but I'm going to get into why I play 3 copies a little later. Most importantly, I guess a short answer would be Desires. That's it for the DDD monsters that we played. The next is 2 copies of Maxine. Now, I was completely iffy on Maxine until I was playing a good friend, Jesse Roberts, and he scraped me when he played Maxie against me. He was playing Metal Foes. He would Maxie me, and I'd go off, and he'd have all the answers. Or he would Maxie me, I'd stop, and he'd OTK me. And I'm like, Maxie seems to be a pretty pivotal card against DDDs. I wonder how many mirror matches I would face hypothetically if I entered the regional. And I would assume, since it's a relatively cheap deck for, a budget build, probably a lot. So activating Maxie on my opponent's turn and drawing all my combo pieces, yeah, that'd be really nice. And then if you draw enough pieces, you can set your pin scales and really punish your opponent for playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then that's when you get your Hyper Summon, Synchro Summon, Fusion, Exceed, Mega Summon, Vaporeon to the side of the field in defense position, Barack Obama leaves President Summon. You get all the summons, all right? So, Maxie's really good. That is it for monsters. I think it clocks us at 22. We're going to move on to spells. And for spells, we're going to have Dark Contract with the gate. We run 3 copies. Now, all contracts have a stipulation of during your standby phase, you have to play some type of life points. All the ones we use is that we pay 1,000. This card is a Stratos, though. It allows us to search any DD monster from our deck to our hand once per turn. Awesome card. 3 copies of Allure Darkness. The reason why we run triple Copernicus, the reason why we run triple Necro Slime, to be honest, it just banishes us dead cards or cards that we drew doubles of to get us closer to our combo pieces. Next is 2 contracts or Dark Contracts with the Swamp King. This card is awesome. It allows us to fusion summon by banishing DD monsters from our field or graveyard, a fiend monster from our extra deck. So it's really good. It basically gets us another fusion summon. We run 2 because Desires. You don't want to Desires one of them and then lose the game. That's why we run 2. Next is 2 copies of Twin Twisters. There's not really much else to be said except for this deck is pretty reliant on my opponent not having like 5 back row. So yeah, you Twin Twisters, discard the Necro Slime, and then go off and just completely rip them away. So Twin Twister is really good for back row killing. It also clears Pendulum Scales. Next is the card that everybody debates on. I really don't know why it's a debate anymore. I've definitely changed my opinion since the video I've made is Pot of Desire's bad. I didn't say it was bad, but I was like, it seemed like it's for every deck. Plot twist, Desires is for almost every competitive deck right now. I mean, unless you're playing heroes. And I'm gonna break it down simple with you guys. I know you guys will probably argue with me. You'll say, CaliEffect, you're wrong. And I have been wrong quite a few times, and I'll admit when I'm wrong. But this time, I feel I'm extremely right about this. If you're not playing Pot of Desires in DDD, you probably shouldn't be playing DDD. This card, literally, there's only one deck that this card is more free in, like seriously, and that's Shiranui. And that's really because they just don't care about banishing cards. And here, we had enough slots to play extra cards like the 3rd Necro Slime, the 3rd Copernicus, 3 Savage Thomas, you don't need 3, 3 Allure, 2 Contracts, 3 of the Dark Contract with the Gates. That Desires just does not matter. I thought I turned my phone off. Stop calling me. Anyways, back to our original video. Yes, I did turn my phone off. Why did it turn back on? Desires is so free. Why are you looking at me like that? I turned my phone off. You saw me. Desires is so free, and sometimes just getting us that 2 cards allows us to get out of that situation that our opponent put us in. You saw me turn my phone off. Don't give me that. On to the next card, we play 1 copy of 1 for 1. This card allows us to get deeper into our combos, pitch any monster that we have on our field or in our hand. A lot of people forget in our field, and it grants us a free Kepler, it grants us a free Lamia. Hell, if you really want to get spicy, it grants us Necro Slime to our side of the field. So yeah, it's a pretty good card. Don't look at, all right, for the people that didn't know, I had to do this video like 5 times, and like some interruptions always come. So in the last interruption, my wife's phone went off and I kind of like got mad, but all of a sudden my phone went off and I can continue the video because I'm the goddamn CaliEffect. So on to the next card, we're gonna run 1 copy of Foolish Burial. It sends 1 monster from your deck to the graveyard, pretty much the exact same thing of which you need to get to your graveyard. That is it for spells. For traps, we're gonna run 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier. This card I was extremely iffy on. I didn't really like it. To be honest, I don't think it's an awesome card. I don't think it merits the $80 price tag that they do have until I realized right now. So the theory behind you getting max seed right now is your opponent max sees you, you lose. But, if your opponent max sees you and you have Dimensional Barrier, you have a chance because you go off, you set up your board, then you activate Dimensional Barrier. When your opponent tries to do some nasty stuff, you call whatever, is appropriate, and you possibly can win the game. This card is really good in that aspect. I really like Dimensional Barrier in here because I'll lose to Maxi if it didn't exist. And then the 1 copy of Vanities for the exact same reason. Like your opponent Maxis you, you go completely off, and then you flip Vanities on them because you're like, yeah, thank you for drawing all those cards. Now you can't special summon. Unless for some reason they draw the Twin Twisters, and then that's when you just, shed Michael Jordan type tears. The last trap that we play to make it 40 is Dark Contract with the Witch. You take 1,000 during every your standby phases. During your opponent's turn, all your DD monsters gain 1,000 attack. You can discard 1 DD or Dark Contract monster or card from your hand to destroy 1 card on the field. Really awesome card. So I hope you guys really liked my antics. We're done with the main board. Let's get on. Onto the extra deck, we play a really good assortment of cards. I'm actually going to save those for last. For Synchros, we won 1 copy of Trishula. I personally feel that this card is optional only for the reason that it's not as easy to make as the other cards are. Like every single other card in this extra deck is extremely easy to make, for the exception of Trish. Now it's not impossible, it's actually very probable. It's just these other cards, like if you want to make them, they're there, and Trishula necessarily isn't. But on the other hand, Trishula is a game winner, so if you do summon Trishula, you're probably gonna win. Next is 1 copy of Crystal Wing, another mandatory card. So like, to be honest with you guys, between 2 cards in this deck, it's gonna be like $115. So if you broke, this might not be the deck for you. Crystal Wing allows you to negate the activation of a monster's effect and destroy it. Also, if it battles a level 5 and higher monster, it gains that monster's attack. So this card's really nasty. 1 copy of Cypher and Lord Omega. Just like I said, these 2 cards are around like 115, 120 bucks. Omega is very mandatory, especially if you are playing the deck correctly, which means you are playing Desires. It allows you to recycle your Necro Slimes, your Swirl Slimes, your Lamias to your graveyard for reuse on your next turn. It also has a little bit of hand manipulation for your opponent. One copy of DDD Curse King Siegfried. This plus Crystal Wing is very easy to make on your opponent's turn. And then you got that set D barrier to call those Exceed monsters your opponent are going to play. What Siegfried does is that once per turn, you can target one face-up spell card, and it's negated into your opponent's turn. So when they activate Raigeki, it is a face-up spell card, so you can negate it. The other effect is that when it's destroyed, I think you gain life points equal to the contract cards you control or something like that. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you straight up that effect isn't good. We like the first effect. One copy of DDD Gus King Alexander. When you normal summon or special summon a DD monster, you can special summon one level 4 or lower DD monster from your graveyard. Essentially, if you make this card and you summon a DD monster, it's a free Crystal Wing. One copy of Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. When it's synchro summoned, you can special summon one DD monster in your pin sale to your side of the field. Really awesome for making some really nasty plays. Also in the battle phase, your opponent can activate monster effects, I believe. Next is one copy of TG Hyper Librarian. This card's nasty. I mean, it's really good at refueling your hand. You make him and you make Formula Synchron and you proceed to draw cards after all your synchro summons. One copy of Formula Synchron, a free draw one. We run so many level 1s, and like I said, this right here is draw 2 cards and then proceed to keep drawing, or draw 3 cards and proceed to keep drawing, or 2 cards, I'm sorry. 1, 2, yeah, draw 2 cards, what am I thinking? And then proceed to keep drawing because you'll use the Formula Synchron for other synchro plays. That's it for synchros. We run the most synchros out of anything. For fusions, we run 2 copy of Flanking Guidance. To be honest, I would like to run a 3rd copy, but you don't need it. Basically what it does is if you special summon a DD monster while he is face up on the field, you can target one DD monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Also think when he's sent to the graveyard, you get to set a contract from your graveyard to your side of the field or something like that. It's not a bad card. Really awesome card. One copy of King Oracle D-Arc. Any damage you would take because of an increase instead. So when we have all those contracts face up on the field, instead of losing damage, D-Arc makes it an increase. It's also a level 7 monster, so it's easy to make Omega with this plus Lamia. And then one copy of DD Dragon Bang King Beowulf. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I did not read its effect maybe until like nighttime. I'm so serious. I didn't read it. I summoned it. I used it for Hope Harbinger, but its effect is pretty good. During your standby phase, you can destroy all spells and trap cards on the field, so it's a heavy storm. It's really good. I just didn't use it. That is it for the fusions. Now for the Exceeds, one copy of Hope Harbinger. Card's a blowout. It has effects that people just don't seem to read. First of all, if your opponent activates a spell or a spell effect. Now, it was ruled at Utah one time that it can negate monster effects. That is not true. It can only negate the activations of spells and spells trying to activate their effects that are already face up on the field. Next, if your opponent attacks a monster, you can detach a material and then make it attack him. If an Exceed monster is destroyed while he is face up on the field, you can target another Exceed monster you control and it gains that monster's attack. Really good card. You're probably just going to use it for the spell effect though. And then one copy of DDD Dual Don King Kali Yuga. Woo! This guy is nothing less of awesome. He even has my name in it. So when he's summoned, all other cards on the field are negated and they can't be activated till the end of the turn. Freaking awesome, right? You can detach one material, he's a heavy storm. So destroy all spells and trap cards on the field, all right? Then you can detach another material, set a contract from your graveyard to your side of the field. It doesn't really help the opponent that he's a 3,500 attack monster. So ultimately he can be your out to Crystal Wing. So, you know, he's really good at that aspect. And then a lot of people run Beatrice, which I feel is another optional card. I run number 24, Draculus the Vampire Dragon. Now I'm not trying to say this is a must run card. You can run the Beatrice, but I'm going to explain to you why I run this card. First of all, you can target one monster special summon from the extra that can flip it face down. All right, so instantly off the top of your guys' head, you're like, oh my god, this stops extra deck cards. And it's not just, synchros, fusions, and Exceeds. It stops Pendulum monster special summon from the extra deck as well. The next thing is if it's sent to the graveyard or banished, you get to special summon it to your side of the field face down. Now you guys are like, oh my god, it's a vampire, it keeps coming back. Here's where it gets worse. When it's flipped face up, you can send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard. Now I know you guys like that. Y'all feeling that, and it doesn't target. You guys are feeling that. This card makes me feel myself, literally. When somebody like makes a board or something, or when I go first and they like try to stop me from doing my Yu-Gi-Oh, I just make this in defense and then make the Crystal Wing and be like, you go ahead, bro. You go play Yu-Gi-Oh. You try. I like to see you try. It's just a really good pressure card. I love this card. It's also going to be amazing against Zodiacs when they start, you know, making their Malmarat play. You just flip the Malmarat thing face down, and then you'd be like, all right, now I got to deal with it. And then when they Drachnia this card, it just comes back face down, and then you flip it face up and send cards to the graveyard. So I think that's one of the cards that definitely will grow up in price. That is it for the extra deck. Now we can go on to the side deck. Extra deck, we play 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Playing with this deck, I realized that I couldn't beat Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, so if you can't beat them, might as well join them. This card will like skyrocket in price very soon. I think that this card is awesome. Being able to stop your contracts, some of your opponent's monster effects. It stops pin scales. It stops, it destroys regular monsters. It's just a really good card overall, and it's like a complete blowout against this deck. And pin scales. The next is 3 copies of Vanity's Fiend. I normally side these in when I'm going first, of course, and I know my opponent's gonna maxi me, and I think that maxis their only out, and they can't out the Vanity's Fiend. So, they maxi me, I go the freak off, and then I tribute summon for Vanity's Fiend. I'm like, you go play Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. You go try to do that. 2 copy of Lava Golem. Now, Lava Golem is really good. It's better, in my opinion, than Kaiju Gameciel right now, because normally when people play ABC, they go like Bushintai Tsukiyomi and the ABC Buster. Against this deck, they'll go like Siegfried and Crystal Wing, the DDD players. The Metal Foe players will go like Outcast and Omega, or something like that. So what you do is during your standby phase, here you go, bro. It's a nice little Lava Golem for you. It's a 3,000 attack monster, so you might want to take care of it as soon as possible. But most importantly, you get rid of 2 of their threats at one time. It's a really good card. The 3rd copy of Twin Twisters, because I hate Paleos. There's really not much else to say. More copies of Twin Twister-like cards because I hate Paleos. Royal Decree negates all trap cards. So while they can still activate their trap cards, I really don't care because now they don't do anything. 1 copy of Erad because I hate Paleos. I hate Magispectors. I hate decks. So normally when we go first, we side this in. Another la-di-da thing, because they'll maxi you, they'll draw all these cards. Then you go Erad and you call spells or you call traps if they're Magispectors or whatever, and you just outright win the game. And then last is 2 copies of Deck Devastation Virus because I hate DDDs, I hate Magispectors, I just hate decks, okay? And I just feel like the viruses are really good cards to side in against your opponent because outright, you go first and you make this, you're probably going to win the game just because you blew out all their cards. Keep in mind that the viruses does get rid of hand traps too. So if they thought they were cunning and they were going to hold on to that Ghost Ogre, then yeah, no, you're going to get rid of it. Lose it or use it in this deck. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. I hope you enjoyed all of my antics as well as the deck profile in itself. Let me know what you guys think and what you guys would like to see for the next deck profile. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.